Hi there, and thanks for joining us. I'm Alexis Rogers. We're keeping an eye on the roads throughout the day today as we expect more snow and cold conditions. We've seen a number of school cancellations across the state and on this weather-worn day. But for some of us, it's been a bit of a slow start. John is in the backyard with...
Yes, Alexis, sorry I stole your words there. It is cold back here. Obviously, no snow. So we have the weather warned, but there are obviously a later start time. And we are seeing that right now. Dry air and a little colder temps are eating away at our snow as this slides southeast. Still the brunt of the snow is expected to hit southeast Minnesota later on today. Bigger change. We're only expecting 1 to 4 in the metro and 1 for the Twin Cities, but it's going to be the blowing snow. So they have chopped back the advisory. St. Cloud to Brainerd, no more advisory there. So if you're watching in Brainerd right now, they've cut that back because it moved east. Twin Cities is now all under an advisory. They got rid of a warning in Ramsey County, so that is no longer. But I'm still expecting some impacts, especially in the southeast side of the metro. You'll see worse conditions there in the winter storm and La Crosse, and still blizzard warnings in southern Minnesota. See how it's been evaporating? That's a problem. Obviously, a lot of this was trying to fall, but it's turned into really just evaporation. Got a little bit of activity or flurries, but that's about it right now. Looking at this system, it's very large, but if you track it from Duluth to Albert Lea, you see how there's kind of that gap with no snow. That's what happens. It's a little bit too cold, and it's keeping a tight snow gradient in Wisconsin. So we're on the edge of this thing. So we got to track the entire thing out. But yes, a lot of snow to our friends in Wisconsin and in Iowa. We'll get our chance later on today, and we'll talk about those totals as well.
John, thank you. And as that storm moves through a big portion of the country, we're seeing a lot of flight delays and cancellations, especially in the Chicago area. I spoke with some of my family there today. Lots of them not getting out of the city. This morning, a ground stop was issued at O'Hare International Airport after heavy overnight snow. That means all flights were diverted from the airport and takeoffs were halted. Hundreds of flights have been canceled, and that's expected to have a domino effect on air travel around our area.
Hopefully we can just kind of keep it maintained till the snow is finally done falling and then clean it all up nicely.
Well, bundling up for things like shoveling will be crucial as temperatures continue to dip this weekend. Experts say if you're headed outside, 3 layers of clothing works great. Also, wear boots with several layers of socks. If you're around water, do your absolute best to stay dry and keep a change of warm clothes in your car. Doctors say frostbite can strike in 30 minutes or less when wet. Local shelters are creating warm areas for unsheltered people today. At Salvation Army's Harbor Light Center, they've squeezed in a few more beds in the overflow section because they just don't want to turn anyone away. For the first time this season, they're converting their service centers to warming centers. Now, they typically do this when wind chill drops below 0. They've been hard at work gathering supplies to keep people comfortable while they escape the cold during the day. Union Gospel Mission Twin Cities in St. Paul is also on high alert due to the dangerous temperatures. They're ready to provide food, shelter, and other essentials. Now, of course, you can stay up to date on today's storms with the help of our KARE 11 app. It gives you access to live weather alerts, custom forecasts anytime you need it. And you can find it wherever you get your apps or by scanning the QR code right there on your screen. Today, a judge deliberating over the civil fraud trial involving former President Donald Trump after closing arguments wrapped up yesterday. The former president gave his own closing argument. In a nearly 5-minute speech, he declared himself an innocent man and shared grievances against the New York Attorney General and the judge overseeing this case. The AG's office is seeking $370 million. The judge is expected to make a ruling by the end of the month. Well, we're just 3 days away from the Iowa caucuses, which could significantly impact this year's presidential race. NBC's Garrett Hake shows us where the biggest battles for votes sits right now.
The story once again here in Iowa is in part the weather today, with some campaign events already getting canceled because of the blowing snow we're expected to see across the state. It's the kind of thing that might cut into the momentum of Nikki Haley, who appears to be leading in what's become a battle for second place here in Iowa. That's where all the drama in this race is. We saw her face-to-face with Ron DeSantis earlier in the week, the two continuing to trade barbs on the campaign trail about their records as governor, even one another's basic honesty. But Haley's also making the case that this is about to become a two-person race between her and frontrunner Donald Trump. She is trying to turn the page, and so too is Trump. He's been off the trail in a New York City courtroom, arguing that he's an innocent man, unfairly targeted, he says, by overzealous Democratic prosecutors. It's similar to the message he has given here on the stump in Iowa in the past, and the one he's likely to give at 4 weekend events here just before the caucuses on Monday. That's if he can get back into the state, as the entire state of Iowa faces a blizzard warning for the rest of the day today.
The final Republican-nominated Minnesota Supreme Court justice is stepping down. Justice Barry Anderson is retiring after nearly 2 decades on the high court. In a statement, Governor Walz thanked Anderson for his service, saying the court is stronger because of his commitment to the rule of law. Anderson's last day is May 10th. Well, today, the U of M campus is back open following a shooting threat yesterday. Now we know more about the suspect who was arrested hours later. Court documents show the man has a history of drug and alcohol-related crimes dating back to 2016. Before then, he served as mayor of the small town of Watson for a 2-year term starting in 2012. Several districts near Watson also took precautions, 2 of them locked down. If the suspect is charged in connection to the threat, he'll likely face probation violations for past offenses. Hennepin County is ending an agreement with North Memorial Health, which helped patients struggling to pay their medical bills. In May, the county signed a deal to give $48 million in reimbursements, mostly to people on Medicaid, Medicare, or other government assistance programs. A spokesperson for the county says the board voted to end the agreement in part to refocus county resources on other strategies.
If we're using taxpayer dollars, it's best that taxpayers and the governing entity over that has more say over it.
North Memorial says the contract was vital to helping fund and support the healthcare needs of residents. Commissioner Anderson says they are open to making a new deal with North Memorial. Well, a major event is back next week, honoring Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and helping students afford tuition. When we come back, we're talking to 2 people making the holiday breakfast a success. And before you head out in the snow this afternoon, we have to look at one feature on your car you'll want to avoid to stay safe.